Hey guys, welcome back to TFGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here with Vendetta, and this is part 3 of our Let's Play focusing on building up the Arcology. Vendetta and I have been running this series here for a little bit, playing a couple of cities simultaneously in this region, and we'll just kind of flip back and forth here between the two of them as we go. And this is Vendetta's city here. It looks like it's got a petroleum HQ going, and obviously the massive oil factory. What else you got going here, man?
Just to catch you guys up, I got my my trade depot laid down and my trade HQ rather. Just finished laying that and working on trying to unlock the second tier trade stuff so I can really start massively exporting that oil.
Right, 'cause that's key to try to unlock those next layers of like getting the trade port going and getting those next pieces going for like being able to export fuel and well, plastics if you really wanted to, but I think we're going to end up using some of that anyway for the Arcology, of course.
Yeah, plastic is useful in the electronic trade because you can use that to help produce your TVs, computers, and processors. But starting out initially, I'm going to go fuel because it sells for literally double that of plastic. So trying to get that bang for the buck and unlock all the trade and the oil stuff as well. So.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, as we were saying in the last video, I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, you have to... Oh, boy. Yep, here we go.
Minding my own business.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, you can sell off a bunch of that meat, low stuff to build up your first trade, but and then worry about selling the big stuff as you unlock it. But now there's another problem.
Yeah.
Right there on your... He immediately destroyed all of those. I mean... That is just bizarre. Okay, so he hates you and everything you stand for. Basically,
he's just happening. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and light all my oil fields on fire, which is awesome. Just kidding, it's not.
That has to be the most absolutely amazing placement for him to come up. You pick the app, and he's gonna get your petroleum HQ while he's at it. Oh, shit.
I can't believe my luck. He just destroyed 450K worth of trade industry.
Oh, shoot.
Just single-handedly obliterated my entire oil empire in one strike.
Oh,
really?
Gosh. That is amazing. I love it. I'm sorry. Guys, I know you told me about this, man, but guys, I hadn't seen this yet. This is... Oh, man. Seriously, that is a bend-over moment if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
Wow.
Words cannot describe my distress.
That's out of control right there. Yeah, so apparently lesson learned, if the big lizard hits your main production facility, all the pumps go with it.
Yeah, a rather painful lesson that I learned right there, but hey, you know what? We're playing legit and random disasters happen.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, exactly. I mean, that's part of the deal. I mean, you can have these disasters hit at any time, and certainly the placement of them is a factor.
Yeah, that was just really some unfortunate luck on my end to get hit with that. He happened to... I can't believe he actually turned and walked through every single one and then destroys my petroleum HQ as the icing on the cake.
Yeah, he really had an agenda. He had something in mind there for you, I think, and just decided, oh, so you built up this nice little empire here. We'll just take care of that. That's no problem.
Yeah, we'll just destroy your $450,000 investment. No big deal.
Oh my gosh. Well, I will say, I mean, it is a good point though to check out your RCI there. You're making just from your taxables 9K in funds there, and it's a good thing too because you weren't completely living off of your trade empire just yet. We've lauded the fact that you don't really need to be profitable per hour if you're relying completely on trade, but that's only if you have a serious amount of bank already stored up. Just in case a disaster like that is to occur, you want to be able to recover from that, and in the beginning stage of the game, that definitely means having a healthy per hour bottom line until you get that nice beefy 6 or 7 figure buffer zone in place.
Yeah, I do want to point out, like you were saying, early game, it's important to have strong RCI so you can recover. Like, I was lucky in the fact that I had 100K, so I was able to put down a couple oil wells right off to kind of help recover with that, and I also had some full oil, but if you didn't have that, if you were operating in the red too early, that would be game over, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a really, really fast and unfortunate way to end your city's playthrough, is to be operating in the red with just no reserve funds. So lucky here that this happened, because I'm almost positive that a little bit later in this city's evolution, we may end up in the red, just because
Yeah.
I know we've done that before. Going after the electronic city, we get massively in the red, and then everything shows up real quick. But I had a little present come and visit me as well, as you can see. As we switch over to my city, I think he left your city and decided to come into my town. But look at this beautiful path that he chooses. Isn't this beautiful?
I hate you. I hate your face.
Oh, isn't this the best? Oh, he's gonna light some trees on fire. I'm sorry, Greenpeace.
Yes, which you can replant at $50 a square foot or whatever.
I don't even think those destroyed when he does that.
I don't think.
See, there you go. Yeah. I'm just bulldozing as he goes. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'll just get rid of these little commercial buildings, and then he's kind enough to go over to my trash pile here and eat some of my trash, which I thought was nice of him before he leaves. So.
Yeah, that's actually helping you. That way you don't have to incinerate your garbage.
I know, right? I think he got his fill of being just player-destroying, soul-crushing misery when he left your city and decided to come over here. But yeah.
Yeah, don't rub it in or anything. It's cool.
No, I wouldn't dream of it, man. I thought this was really crazy, though, because, I mean, watching the broadcast back after we recorded our session here, I thought that was kind of incredible that he left your city, and then within, 90 seconds, he's at my doorstep, it seems.
I can't believe he didn't destroy your garbage dump right there. I mean, he lit it on fire and it didn't do anything. What's up with that?
I think it's because he loves me. It must have been the payment that I gave him to go over to your city first, and this is just the saving face appearance here.
Did you sacrifice a goat or something? I mean, what's going on?
Actually, you know what I did? I sacrificed about 6 commercial buildings. That's what I sacrificed. That's about it.
Unbelievable. You
Yeah.
get away virtually unscathed, and it cost me 450 grand.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, if he'd have picked a worse spot, I still don't think there's any way he could have done as much damage to me as he did to you, because I just didn't have that infrastructure going for trade or anything yet.
Yeah.
Because this is still
Power, water, sewage.
Yeah, exactly. This is my power, water, sewage city, and I was just trying to basically get it up to the point where I got 15,000 residents that could tack that that Department of Transportation on my building there, and basically soup up these services buildings to make sure that they're going to provide enough coverage for your city, this city, and one other, which I'm going to go start here in just a short bit to do some mining to support our venture here. But yeah, this is the last vestiges of this city. I think when we come back to see me here in a little bit after this segment, it'll be more. That thing cropped up out of nowhere too. Check that out.
That's awesome. Is that high wealth?
I think so, yeah. Platinum
like
Tower
high
just like scooped up right in the center of everywhere. I mean, it's like this little suburban town, and then there's just this ginormous skyscraper for no reason.
You're like, bling, I make it rain.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So here's, I'm just starting to shop around, trying to find a good piece of land to expand onto here. The goal here, guys, is to try and find something where I can exploit some natural resources. We're going to need some coal and some ore to eventually process into some alloy that I can then ship over to Vendetta City so he can use that in our electronics venture to build towards the Arcology. So it's kind of a, ABC plan there. But it unfortunately occurred to me that there's not really a good source of both coal and ore anywhere. There's a light source of both here and there, but really not a great deposit of both. I can get a great deposit of one, though. And given the choice, it's usually an idea or a best idea to go ahead and pick up ore, because ore sells better, or is, best to, or it costs more to acquire on the open market, I guess I should say, than coal. And, I don't need it to power my cities or anything like that, so I can just use every bit of it that I pull out of the ground. So went ahead and picked this up, and I guess I did just go ahead and pick this up during this segment of the playthrough. So Kind of a
Yeah,
strange city design here, though, you know?
I'm not a real fan of the hills and valleys, to be honest. I mean, I know a lot of people like it, but I think it just makes it more of a hassle to try to play in your city. And to be frank, you know, the city sizes is already pretty small, so it's like you're throwing a giant mountain in the way. Thanks, Maxis.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, some would say this is character building. You know, like, oh, I'm going to build this kind of interesting city in this challenging landscape. And there is something to be said for that, I suppose. But, you know, the efficiency nuts of the world, such as, you know, us, it, it can be a little bothersome. But, you know, you got to stretch out of your comfort zone a little bit here and there. And I decided to try this area out and just exploit it for the ore. And I'm very, very much just designing this on the fly. I didn't really scout this area before, you know, the recording session or anything. So I'm just sort of making the most of this as I can go along.
I personally feel like, you know, somebody at Maxis took a dump in my cornflakes. Like, what did I do to you guys? Why'd you gotta put a mountain there? There's no terraform tool.
I think you're just a
remove
little
it.
salty over that lizard, man. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, that could be it.
But yeah, the mountain is a little strange. I mean, I kind of like the little oasis sort of, you know, seaside basin here that they've got.
Yeah.
That to me just screams for some nice little housing down there. I think that's good. And I don't know if you saw, but the ore map and the wind map and stuff for this area, all the ore is up in the area above the basin.
Yeah.
And the wind is kind of blowing across, you know, we're looking at the map right now, just across to the right and up a little bit as well. So I figured I could stick all my residential down in that small area or even just to the left side of the map.
That's an interesting point you bring up too, because you're building some housing there, but that's your only waterway.
It's true, yeah. So if we wanted to try to get any like cruise ships or docks or anything like that, then we're going to have to incorporate that in. But that's something I can do later. I really wasn't worried about the trade ship docks or anything right at the beginning. I knew I was going to have to get some
That's
more
true.
established. And there's nothing saying we can't adjust that a little bit later, you know?
Yeah.
So, and besides, I think you'll see after a little bit, we've switched back to your city here now. But I do put some more housing up on the flat up there, just off to the left, again, to try to make sure the industry is away from where the wind is, you know, so I'm not sitting downwind. They tend to hate that for some reason.
Yeah, all that lovely pollution from our factories tend to blow there, and they don't like pollution.
Strange that, but so you're trying to obviously to recover here. Here's another great example of the fact that you can place your drills anywhere where that service road goes, and
Yeah.
there's no problem with that. So I think you're just trying to make the best of this opportunity here to really get everything you can out of this oil spot.
Exactly. Just going to go ahead and link these up and maximize my oil drills, as you will.
Exactly, and hope for the love of God that another disaster doesn't come through and just wipe everything out. So
Exactly. I think if I would have been attacked again by the big lizard, I would have just thrown my keyboard against the wall.
we seem to have a couple of moments like that occasionally, you know, whenever we're playing just garbage, but you know, it happens. It's part of the challenge. It's part of the fun. If you could just come in here every time and just do exactly what you want all the time, every time, well, that's called sandbox mode, folks, you know? So, I mean, if that's what you want to do, feel free. That's fine. It's certainly a way to play the game, but we like it to keep us on our toes just a little bit. I mean, the game's not terribly difficult by any means. So
Yeah.
one thing that does, you know, keep you up to speed a little bit is those random disasters. And traffic, apparently. You got a little bit of a hold up there at the front of your...
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. These guys are all, you know, complaining. I think it's commuters from your city, so I blame you.
That seems fair, man. I appreciate that. It must be me. That's what it is. All the
They're all
people that,
driving.
you know, had their homes survive and everything are coming over here looking for work, but when you know, ain't nothing up here yet.
It's like, oh, do you want to work at my oil factory? Oh, wait. Just got destroyed by Godzilla.
It happens, you know? I mean, you see that on the news all the time. So, you know, workplace
Yeah, that's
shortage
totally
due to
legit.
giant lizards. But no, well, things you're getting things back together here really well, though. Again, that's just a testament of the strong RCI model and able to
Yeah.
put things back together. And even if in the terrible, unlikely scenario, if you would get hit again right here, you're still pulling down almost 9,000 an hour. I mean, it's recoverable.
Yeah, at this point, it really is recoverable. I'm not operating in the red, which is key, like, again, we've stated. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to try to get my oil factories back in full force here, try to work towards upgrading that petroleum HQ, work towards upgrading the trade HQ so I can unlock bigger and better things. Right here, I saw a road snafu. There was an unnecessary intersection. I wanted to really kind of get that ironed out so to help with traffic flow a little bit in and out of the city.
Yeah, definitely. That's the kind of thing too that'll kind of just tweak you a little bit when you're trying to lay streetcars a little later too. All of a sudden you'll be like, why isn't that road connecting? And I remember one of my initial cities, I think actually when we were playing in beta, I think this happened. I had made this immense streetcar system and I kept getting this notice that streetcars couldn't get to where there were stops. And I was looking at my city and I could not understand what was going on. There was just this big blue connected line everywhere. And it took me like an hour and a half of constantly getting this notice until I finally just decided, all right, screw this. And I I zoomed in and just followed the road, segment by segment. And I found this little teeny hairline fracture, you know, in my avenue where I didn't have high density streetcar avenue. And as soon as I filled that in, it was fine. So you definitely want to try and watch that before it becomes a problem and makes you throw things, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I've noticed occasionally with the road tool, you'll get those one tile by one tile. Like it seems like a break in the road. And as you can actually see that oil well I just clicked on, there's actually two intersections right in a row. And I tried to fix it, but it wanted me to delete an oil well. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Why? What's the matter with that, man? It's not like you've had to rebuild anything,
Yeah, I just want to flush $100,000. Like, oh, that's cool.
Of course, I don't blame you. Yeah, because that does suck. Remember that, folks. If you delete road, any buildings that are next to it go right with it. We learned that lesson multiple times. So,
I've learned that lesson so many times the hard way. I mean, if you guys took a look at our beta videos, actually, I had to delete a sci-fi casino because of bad placement on my part.
Yep, and that's one of those lessons you don't soon forget. So, but you just move on. That's it. I see some guys over there on your left there. That's a little thought bubble looking for that mass transit. They want streetcars or buses and stuff here, it seems.
Yeah, I'm approaching 30,000. I think I get a little higher than that population, and I'm only using medium density streeting at the moment. Streeting.
That's a good word.
That's a word, guys. So that's what's going on there.
We are wordsmiths here at VenGoose for sure. Stick around, folks. You'll learn a lot that you should never use in school.
Yeah, I'll be here all day.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we get our mass transit stuff going pretty. We start organizing that here in the next video. But we flip back over here to my city. As you can see, I've started kind of laying the groundwork of just my basic RCI here for this town. It's a little fungly. I'm trying some different road configurations, and you can see my little arc pattern down there by the bay, and it's working okay for the moment. It's not bad. There's an entire 360 people living here, so this is beast. All right. I mean,
did you take out some bonds, or is that still your initial capital?
I did take out a $100,000 bond.
Gotcha.
And that is awesome because, yeah, you can take out the 50 and 100K bonds if you have a Department of Finance down. And that is so awesome when you're starting a new city in your region. And at least it seems on this server that we're playing on, which is US East 3 that we're on, it seems that those region shares are actually kicking over really fast. I'm buying all of my power, water, and sewage from Aqua Plains. And there was never a shortage. Nothing was going on. So it was no problem at all. I never had to provide anything local in this city. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So in here, we'll get our name in. Mineroids. Why not?
That's legit.
That's what I thought, So, and here, look, my people are already whining about streetcars. I have 680 people.
That's totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. I don't know, man. I think you like to drink when you play because you got some crazy roads going on.
So what of it, man? You're the model of efficiency over there. I like to be efficient, but then I actually start clicking on the game and I go, yeah, but I want to do something.
I want to do curvy roads.
Yeah.
It looks like you have half a Pac-Man going. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Exactly. God. So anyways, I decided to just shoot back over here to Aquavolt because I wanted to actually send some of the service vehicles and such that I was originally only sending to you. I decided to split some of those towards this new city now just so I could give myself a little bit of coverage. And I think you'd mentioned too that you ended up sending some stuff back my way as well, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's in this recording or the next, but in I think one of these videos, yeah, I pulled back all my service vehicles and went ahead and sent it to Mineroid instead.
Yeah, and the reason you can do that, guys, is if you're going to be playing on multiple cities like this, but you're only really going to be focusing your attention in one, then definitely send all your service vehicles there. The other city is effectively on pause, the entire time you're playing. So there's really no reason to be sending a bunch of vehicles over there if you're not going to be in it. So just volunteer them all out to the one that you're going to be playing and go to town with it, and you'll be in good shape in that sense. So
yeah, otherwise you're kind of wasting your resources, to be honest. I mean, like Goose was saying there, it's not going to take effect. You're only simulating the city you're playing, never more, never less. So it's going to be wasted.
Exactly. And I think that's my mare from Aquavolt running around down there with the little goose icon.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I enjoy that. But here I'm just going to run this out a little bit, and I wanted to go ahead and get the mineral or the ore stations going, the mining areas, so I could start pulling that ore out of the ground and get that empire started. It's going to be a little bit, guys, before Vendetta City is in a state where he's ready to start taking in alloy, to start putting towards electronics and such. But it's also going to be a little bit here before I'm able to produce alloy. So the idea is to get these minerals, stations up and to start pulling in this ore so that I can sell enough of it to get the various HQs and that smelting factory there that you just saw, to get all that stuff approved through trade so that I'm able to produce that alloy in the time, in a timely manner so that he's going to have it when he needs it.
Yeah, I should point out for you guys, I'm sure most of you know by now, but for those of you who are watching this, the electronic specialization is the most expensive one to get into.
Oh, by far. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. There's a couple of the buildings there. They're something like $360,000 just to put the building down, and operating and, 4-digit operating costs for sure. So it can get crazy, but if you can get into it, as we pointed out in a couple of the tips videos, it's crazy amounts of money that you can pull down. It basically turns the game into sandbox mode. You just have to earn it.
Right. Yeah, it's extremely lucrative once you can get the infrastructure up and running, but man, trying to get there can be a little tough for some people. So you just kind of got to know the steps you need to take, which is, what we're kind of trying to show you guys, how to start that kind of an empire.
Exactly. That's the key, is just to plan from the beginning, know who's going to provide what, build smart, get a smart RCI model in the beginning to absorb any unexpected circumstances. And then build it out from there, and you can really support any of the great works by, going with a model like this. It just so happens we're starting off with the Arcology, which needs lots and lots and lots of TVs, so that's what we're going for. But I think we'll wrap it up here, guys, for this video, and be on the lookout here for the next part in a couple of days. Check out the links down there at the bottom for links back to this full series and also our tip series or anything else we decide to throw there for you. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Smack that like button if you like our stuff, and we'll see you soon.